Hi everybody, good morning and welcome to another edition of Every Woman TV. As you know, my name is Carol Azams. I am the founder and your host of this program, the program that is created to promote women in business. My guest on the show today is a businesswoman from the USA and she goes by the name Janis Schiffner. Jan is a wonderful woman, very successful businesswoman, well-traveled. She's also a best-selling author of many books. She is the co-author of my book of Lockdown Stories, Volume 5, which is Survivor. Jan shared her stories about her struggles, her personal struggles, how she overcame them in the book. On the show today, she is going to read an excerpt from the book, and I hope that you will enjoy watching or listening to her story. This is the book, Volume 5 of Lockdown Stories. Jan is going to read from her very own personalized version, which we created for her. Something that I had done for all the women. It's an opportunity that is open to all the women in all of the books. So if you are a co-author in any of the books, you have an opportunity to create your very own personalized version, for which you are able to do whatever you want, host a party with family and friends, sell and keep all the profits for yourself. I guess it's something that many of you would be or should be looking forward to do. Like I said, some of the women have already done that, and Jan happens to be one of them, and she's going to be reading from her very own stories. So the stories inside the book all remain the same, just the cover and the blurb. So that is it. I'm going to introduce Jan to today's show. Jan, welcome to Every Woman TV. I'm glad to have you on the show. Please take a moment and introduce yourself properly to our viewers.
Hello, I'm Janis Schiffner. I had the extreme pleasure of working with Carol on a book. In fact, I have it here with me, Survivors, Stories of the COVID-19 Lockdown, Volume 5. It was a real thrill to be included with this. If you ever have the chance to partner with Carol, take it. She's delightful to work with. As far as myself, I am a 3-time international best-selling author, and my most current one is one I curated with a group of women called She's a Boss. I was nominated as a result into Publishing's Motivation and Success Hall of Fame in 2022, and I was also acknowledged for my work on Women Who Lead Volume 2 and The Game Changer. I also was inducted into the Marquee Who's Who in America Publication Board Hall of Fame for 2022 and 2023. And this inclusion is very special and quite an honor. And it's you have to be nominated, and it's for individuals that demonstrate integrity and outstanding achievement in their respective fields. So that was also a thrill. I work currently in the print industry. I oversee 3 states for an extremely large global company, and I have done that for a number of years. I started out in the telecom industry and worked in it for 20, and print has become my passion. Although I've enjoyed both, I have become very successful and am thrilled to report that I made it through COVID. And it was quite a journey, so I'm looking forward to talking to you all about it a little bit more. When I'm not working or writing, you'll find me restoring either my 100-year-old home in Washington State or my 200-year-old home in central Italy. So I am thrilled to be telling my story. When you hear a little bit more about it, it's pretty miraculous. My passion around this is it was such a unusual time in our world's history, and an extraordinary time for me personally. And although in the middle of it all, it felt almost unbearable for a number of reasons. Number one, I live where COVID-19 broke out. I live in Everett, Washington, where the very first case was reported here in the United States. And it happened so very quickly. I was diagnosed with an early case of COVID, and it turned out to be quite a blessing for me. Although a lot wasn't known, it was still before the tents were up and testing was taking place, and there was a lot of news. In fact, there weren't even tests for COVID when I came down with it. But one of the things that I gained from it was that when I wasn't getting well, the doctors ran some additional tests, and I had cancer of my thyroid. So things got very fast, very quickly. I was rushed in to get a variety of different kinds of x-rays. Most of them took place in very small tubes, and I've gotten very used to that. And it was terrifying to have all of the drama in the background that COVID-19 subjected me to, on top of this very scary diagnosis, seemed to compound it. I'm very blessed that I work for a wonderful company that allowed me to take the time I needed to have surgery multiple times in 2020 and to recover. And I'm delighted to say that 3 years later, I am working. I am healthier than I've ever been. I'm happy. In fact, I would say that I've changed pretty dramatically as a result of going through everything that I went through. When you're faced with something like this, it allows you the opportunity to reevaluate who you are, reevaluate who you want to be, what type of legacy you want to leave behind, should you be leaving, and then also to decide if that's what you want. Because if you're not ready to leave, you have to find it in you to fight, and to fight hard. I chose the latter, and I was very fortunate that I live in a very metropolitan area where there's an extraordinary medical university. University of Washington produces extraordinary, talented physicians. And I asked for a very rapid course of action. My mother had cancer when I was growing up, and the treatments certainly were not as advanced as they are today. And she suffered for years. And my goal was to do as much as I could, as fast as I could, and get to the other side of whatever it was that was in front of me. There were multiple things that were happening. I had not only thyroid cancer, it had spread. It kept me from talking. It damaged my vocal cords, and for a while I couldn't speak. And not being able to communicate and dealing with everything that was going on was at best terrifying, and at worst very difficult. But I got through it. I had to have a kidney removed. A tumor was found there, and another one was found in my lungs. And I'm delighted to say that when the biopsy came back for the kidney, it was not cancer. That's sort of a miracle. Apparently, if I'm traumatized in some way, it's my body's defense mechanism. So they're not worried about the one that's in my lungs. I can talk again. I had to have my vocal cords repaired and rebuilt. And here I am, an international best-selling author. 3 years later, at the height of my career, I have 2 homes that I manage and spend time in. And it's just been an extraordinary journey. Some things I learned about myself are that I'm very goal-oriented. I knew from day one that I was going to do whatever I needed to do to get through the challenge that COVID and cancer provided me in 2020. I also just have a message of never giving up, of believing that you can get through things, picturing yourself healthy, happy, successful, and just believing in that image until it manifests. And I really started studying very intently positive thinking, manifestation, the power of our minds in our recovery and our health and our success, just in our life of having successful, happy lives. And it is changing me. And it is, it's not, I went from someone that was very terrified, that actually had to, at one point, decide if what I wanted to be buried in, to someone that can't wait to travel to Europe and visit other countries and explore new cultures. And it's just reawakened all of the adventure that has been inside of me and has taken me all over the world in the past. So I'm thrilled to have been a part of this book project. I was thrilled to share my story. I want everyone to believe that the best is yet to come and that we make our own paths, and our mind is the most powerful instrument, and that if we believe in things, we can achieve them and we can dream them into being. So I just do everything in my power. I start off every morning with positive messages, podcasts, messaging before I go to sleep at night. I do the same, and I do my very best to change the channel if I start to get negative in any way, or if I have a moment where I lapse and am not my best self. I can catch it, I can correct it, and I can get myself back on track, because I really believe that the more positivity we put out in the world, the more that comes back to us. The more that we give to others, the more is given to us. The more we have gratitude for the things we have, the more likely it is that more will come into our life if that's what we want. But we have to pave a path for it, and it all starts with our mental attitude, how we look at life, believing that there is so much the universe wants to give us if we're open to receiving it, and we are our best selves during that process. So that is my message, and I hope that you will enjoy this extraordinary book that I worked with Carol on, Survivors, Stories of COVID-19, Volume 5. It's from 50 women around the world that share their own stories of faith and hope and perseverance and resilience and all of those things. Although our challenges were certainly many during 2020, to come through it on the other side is life affirming, and I truly believe the best is yet to come. Thank you.
So I am going to leave Jan to read you an excerpt from the book. Her title is The Great Pause.
Survivors, Stories of COVID-19 Lockdown, Volume 5. This is an excerpt from my chapter that starts on page 111. I've come to see the bright side during this unimaginable time in all of our lives. I have a newfound love of my home. I cook amazing meals, and my garden is thriving. As a result of gaining a newfound perspective, as well as gaining both time and distance away from my career, I've let go of activities and people that no longer align with my values. On the plus side, this downtime allowed me to write this book along with two others, and I became a #1 international best-selling author. I've made new friends with mutual interests, and we've now embarked on an additional book. So thank you, Carol. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this journey and for getting a much needed time out during the pandemic. I'm now healthier, happier, and wiser for taking this great pause, and now I have recovered completely. The healing surpassed the physical, and I now also feel stronger both mentally and emotionally. I am now ready to venture back out into our beautiful world once more. So I wish you all the very best. If you'd ever like to reach me, you can reach me at J. Schiffner's, my last name with an S at the end, at AOL.com. Thank you, blessings, and may all your dreams come true.
Thank you so much, Jan. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your story in the book, and also thank you for reading an excerpt from your story in the book. So you see, ladies, when I say that there is also an opportunity for you if you contribute to one of the books and you are part of the co-authors. Obviously, this is something that you can do yourself. You can have us create your personalized version of the book, for which you can do so many things with it. If you like, maybe host a book launch, a book party with your friends and family. You get to keep all the profits. That's the best part of it. So if you are a contributor in any one of the books that we've written so far and we've published so far, obviously this option is open to all of you. If you are interested, just let me know, okay? And I will tell you all about it, what you need to do to make this happen for you as well. I hope you've all enjoyed the show today. It's been very interesting having my guest on the show share her story and read from her story that is published in Lockdown Volume 5, which is a survivor. As we can see from her story, she herself is a survivor. And I'm very grateful to have her in this book. Not only that, I am happy that I've crossed paths with her in this life. So until I come your way again next time, please do take care and goodbye for now. If you're a woman in business and you would like to be my guest on this show, you want to showcase your business, your talent, or your products on Every Woman TV, all you have to do is get in touch. Do not hesitate to contact me. I'll be expecting to hear from you.
The dream for Oro is to be community owned and community run, and a very successful organisation in stability and in achieving its ambitions and goals through serving its community and making the Sutton High Street and Lordship Lane more successful and more vibrant and more purposeful.